we booked 161 meetings in 30 days for this client, and they ended up collecting $164,000 within those first 30 days. And the best part about it is we did it through Twitter DMs. These are our best performing messages. These are the numbers on exactly how many meetings we booked each day. So month 1, which was the setup, we only booked 27 meetings. And then month 2, once we got fired up, 161 meetings. It was actually 188 meetings within the first month and a half, which ended up turning into $144,000 because our client had a 4.5% booking rate. We had a 10% conversion of that into sales, and then the average order value was roughly $8,000. Twitter DMs are obviously a super underrated way to book a ton of meetings for your business because not very many people are taking advantage of it. This is the exact time for you to jump on Twitter DMs and start booking dozens of calls a month for your business. And so in this video, we're going to be going straight into the strategy that we use to book these 161 plus calls within the first 30 days for our client, and how you can do the same to book a ton of meetings for your B2B business directly through Twitter DMs. First thing you're going to want to do is you want to open up twitter.com. At this point, we're assuming that you know who your ICP is. Essentially, it's just your ideal client. Then we have to go one step above that and look at who does your ideal client follow. Once we have that, we can actually start looking them up on Twitter. What I always recommend everyone do is essentially just open up a Google Sheet, and then you want to make a list of everyone that your target audience follows or any authorities in your ICP's niche. If you are targeting marketing agencies, then look at who are the biggest names in the marketing agency space. If you are targeting SaaS companies, okay, well, who's teaching a bunch of people how to start a SaaS company? If you want to go for like the lower level of SaaS companies, and then if you want to go like mid to higher level, then who helps people sell their SaaS companies? And then those people you want to put directly on a list. This is the exact list that we built for this PR firm that we booked 161 meetings for. And so essentially we just have some other PR firms. Why? Because who's going to follow PR firms? It's people that like PR, people that have previously bought PR, or people that are likely to invest in a PR service. And then we have some other like Forbes Council, Entrepreneur, Inc. 5000, Entrepreneur Org. Essentially, we're just looking for people that are in the PR world already. Why? Because those are the lowest hanging fruit. Obviously, for this client, we were sending a ton of messages, so we spread out our campaign into 6-7 different niches. And then what we did was we just reduced down to what works the best, and then we doubled down depending on how big your campaign is going to be. For us, we had 120 Twitter accounts rolling, and the best performing messages, the best performing campaigns in our like umbrella were people that had previously bought PR. We can put a link to this down below in the description of just the Google Sheet where you want to plug in your lead sources. And the difference is that's how you want to look at it. We have lead sources, which are going to be the people who your ICP follows. The lead sources aren't necessarily your ICP, but they're who your ICP follow. What you want to do is, for example, we're going to open up Otter PR, go to their followers, right? So these are probably people that are into PR. So these don't look too qualified, but what we can do is we can actually open up Drippy.ai. This is the tool that not only will allow you to send messages, but it'll also allow you to scrape leads. Is you can go to find leads, then you go to lead scraper. So what you're going to do is you're going to select account source, and you're going to plug in the Twitter links that you have in your Google Sheet, which is going to be your lead sources and keywords, which we will get into right now, how to find them. So you want to go in here and then go to followers, following, add a source, and then you can essentially just add as many sources as you'd like. I typically keep them anywhere between 100 and 250,000 potential leads per campaign, but you can really do however many you'd like. I wouldn't recommend you guys go into the millions because that's when quality just isn't there. 100 to 200,000 and always below 1 million. And then we're going to hit next. And here is where things get interesting. Bio keywords is going to be the main filter that you're going to want to use. We can go to Forbes Council, for example, and then you want to go to their followers and look at what they have in their bio. So this guy has founder and host. What I do here is I would say founder, host, and then this guy has CIO, global return, technology powered investors. I would do investor, and then I would do business and leadership coach. So I would do coach, right? Coaches are good for PR. And then I would do, let's see, .com partner. And so essentially what you want to do, you just want to go down through the list, make sure you have everyone that you'd want to send out a message to. So you just go through these. So for her, I would just add speaker. Our keyword lists are typically between 15 and 45-ish, I would say. So we're going to do add element, and you can either do one by one. So if you don't have a ton of keywords, you can just do one by one, which would look like this. So I would take founder, word, paste, add element, and then I would just keep adding them that way. But now there is a better way. So you can hit add element, then you can do quick add, and it says enter a comma separated list of keywords. All you have to do is you have your list of keywords. I'm just going to make this longer just for the example. And then I'm going to add a comma in here. Then you just want to drag the comma, and then you want to hit equals concat, and then you want to do founder, comma, and then select the comma, and then it'll suggest autofill. And now what you can do is you can just copy this, and instead of you having to copy and paste one by one, you can just go in here, paste, select the little check mark, and then it won't let you add filter. What I always do is I just delete the last one, and then I'll just add it again manually. So the last one we had was investor, and then there we go. And then you're good to go. If you have a bunch of keywords, and even if you don't, just hit save. Another one to keep in mind is the exclude bio contents. As your campaign keeps going longer and longer, what I suggest you do is check all your negative replies. Okay, so all the people that say not interested, try to find some sort of pattern between those. And then if you can find that pattern, I would suggest making a list of keywords and then a list of negative keywords as well. And so what that will allow you to do is essentially just narrow down on the people that tend to reply positively, and then just get rid of everyone that doesn't. Sometimes people get confused and ask me, like, does this mean that everyone on our list needs to have all these keywords? And the answer is no. So as long as there's someone on your list that have at least one of these keywords, then they will be sent through. So what you want to do next is just hit next, and then give your lead source a name. So always do the name of the campaign or the name of the account, name of the client, or whatever it might be, and then the date. So I'm going to do YT, and then I'm going to do date. Then you want to hit save. Now that we have leads, we can start our campaign. So if you hit that button at the top left-hand corner of your screen, you will get sent directly in here, and then our lead list will be automatically selected, so you don't have to worry about a thing. All you have to do is just hit select generator type. I would select script personalized, then hit configure message. For our example, let's say we were writing a campaign for Drippy. Our context would be we help businesses close clients through automated Twitter DM outreach. But here you can just plug in whatever your context is. This is essentially just a description of the services you provide or the product that you sell. So once we have that, you're going to move on over to script. Twitter is a little bit different than cold email and LinkedIn. In my experience, it is way less professional, a little bit more straight to the point, but a bit more as if you're just texting a friend. And the same structure that works for cold email will work for Twitter, depending on who your ICP is. Like if you're targeting lawyers, then keep it formal, obviously. But if you're just going for like B2B business owners, then I would maybe take down the formality just a tad bit down. And so as we have so many leads now, you do want to be personalizing these messages. The best way we found to do that is through AI. And I'm actually going to walk you through the mindset that you want to be in when you're writing messages. And I'm going to show you the exact messages we use for this PR firm. And as you can see, it's really not that long. With Drippy, you can use spin text. So you can do as much spin text as possible. And this is the exact format that you want to be looking at. It is these parentheses right here, hey, and then vertical line, but you don't want any spaces between the letters and the actual lines, but you can have spaces within the options, if that makes sense. We can add another one. It could be like good space morning, and then that would work. You don't want to have a space like right before or after the vertical lines. We can like look up their first name through Drippy. It just has that AI functionality, so you don't have to actually look up their name. And then if it can't figure out their name, it'll just say like, hey there, or hello there. And what we're saying, we've got media or press coverage, editorial, PR requests. So it'd read, we've got media requests or media inquiries or media solicitations, or just one of these different options, and think you'd be a great fit to any of these variables. So to either be a great fit, well suited, perfectly suited, well matched, because, and this is where the beauty of Drippy comes in. So with Drippy, if we go back in here, if we go down to settings, and you can have the AI look through the prospect's website and look through all their tweets. And so what we were able to build with that is we essentially just asked it the AI. So it's like, hey, insert a custom compliment that has something to do with the person that we're messaging. And so it would say like, hey, we've got media coverage and think you'd be a great fit because, and then it would like just go through their website and it would go through all their tweets and come up with something really, really beautiful. And then we say, would you be interested? Would this be something of interest? You'd only pay on results. We are purely pay on results. So that is why this offer was so great. So we used AI to personalize to that specific prospect, and then our offer was a no-brainer. So it's like, hey, you literally don't pay until you're published. So that was the first one. And then after that, we had it like, hey, my PR firm, agency, company has opportunities for you in Forbes, Bloomberg. Forbes just outperformed everything. Would you like to hear more? Would this be something of interest? Oh, and also you only pay on results or purely pay on results basis. So this message had no AI, but it's still a really good offer. Why? Because we were able to identify what our specific ICP wanted. And for the most part, it was just like, we had to just touch their ego and be like, hey, hey, we have an opportunity for you. We can feature you on Forbes. And people just went crazy over that. And so these are the two messages that outperformed every other piece of copy. One that we're running for Dripping, one that works really well, is we are letting them know that, first of all, we have 1,000 free leads for you, which is a great offer in and of itself. But then we also say like, hey, can I send you a list of 1,000 qualified or like pre-vetted leads that include, and then we insert their ICP. So we ask ChatGPT to look for their ICP, because then we don't have to do any of that. You would never expect that message to be automated, which is exactly what you want this to be. Like, you want your messages to look as authentic as possible, and that will perform really, really well. Just a rule of thumb when you are writing these messages is put yourself in their shoes. If you wouldn't reply to the message that you're about to send, do not send it. Only send messages that you would send out. Triple check the messages you're actually sending. I'm going to go into context. And so this is going to be for the PR firm. So we help entrepreneurs get featured on Forbes. We have that. And then we have settings. So we have creativity at 1.3, GPT-4 turned on. Split messages is what it does is it will allow us to send like, hey, first name, that's going to be the first message. And then the pitch with the personalized line, that's actually going to be the second message. So you send out 2 message bubbles, which looks super authentic because people don't really think or know that there's a way to automate that yet, which is why Twitter is just this huge opportunity. The reason you want to hit generate is because you want to make sure that, first of all, the automation is working correctly. And second of all, that you have your variables and your spin tags working correctly. If you don't have this exact format, sometimes it'll send some weird stuff because it's not formatted correctly. So you always want to hit generate to make sure these are sending correctly. So this used 16.7 credits, and we're saying, hello, Robin. You got press coverage solicitations and think you'd be well matched because of your impressive ventures in file storage and sharing, as well as your expansive interest in tech and startups. Would you be interested? You only pay on results, right? So essentially, it just went through all this, but it's not one of those AIs where it just literally like copy and paste whatever's on their profile. So it'll actually go into their website and just do everything, which is beautiful. So let's see, that was Robin. Mimi is a spinal MRSA survivor, carnivore keto. So it says, hello, Mimi. You got PR requests and think you'd be well matched because of your incredible journey and inspiring story of overcoming major health challenges and embracing a wellness focused ketogenic lifestyle. And so if you have that, like, people are going to read that and be like, this isn't just copy pasted from my bio. These guys actually went in and did a bunch of research. So like right off the bat, when they answered, they're like happier to answer because they're like, I'm not just another lead in their like lead list. This person actually reached out to me. They're sending 2 different messages. Like, wow, okay. And this message just used 5.8 credits. The offers that work best are irresistible offers. So pay on results, free to get going, all those kind of keywords that reduce the risk as much as possible for the prospect just work infinitely better. Once we have our message and our settings all squared away, if you're not running any AI on your messages, so if you're sending this type of message where it's kind of just more straight to the point, I would just take this all the way down. So like GPT 3.5, I would keep split messages on, but then I would turn both of these off. For variants, we're going to skip that for now. And then for follow-ups, you can do just as many follow-ups as you'd like. We typically run just 2 follow-ups. They can be super, super simple. So what you want your follow-up to do is to just intrigue them enough so that they actually end up seeing the first message that you sent. For this, we would do like, hey, would you be interested in being featured in Forbes? I'll pay on results. We can add another follow-up 3 days later and then just do something very similar to that. So we can do something like, have you ever wanted to be featured on Forbes? Or even better, sometimes like these super short ones, like just Forbes, something you do want to keep in mind is you want to really take care of the preview. If you go into your Twitter inbox, you're going to see that right underneath whoever you're texting in DMs, there's going to be a text preview, right? Just like the first 30 characters or something. So you want to make sure that you can intrigue them within the first 30 characters so that they can actually just click on it. And then you want your preview to sell them on opening the message. That's something to keep in mind, which is why sometimes something as short as this works really well. And now you're going to hit next. You're actually going to want to give your automation a name. So again, I would do the same thing. So I would do the campaign name or the name of the account. So name, and then I would do the date. I would also do the specific angle that you're taking. So this is our AI angle. So I would do AI angle just so that when we are going through them and we're like checking to see which one's working better, so we can like tell right off the bat what that is. Or if you're naming your scripts, so this one is 1A. So I would just do, instead of AI, I would do 1A, and then the team would know exactly what that means. This is the beautiful part about Twitter DMs, okay? You can send up to 500 messages per day. If you go into the Twitter terms of service, that's what it'll allow you to do. For this client, we were sending from 120 accounts. I know, it's crazy to think about. It's even crazy to hear that someone doing cold email is running 120 email accounts. Just think about the difference in volume. This client had a really good offer, booking rate of 4.8%, and they were closing 10% of those sales into $8,000. So just think about what 7 to 12% reply rate would look like, what a 5% booking rate rate would look like on that. And then just look at the 8% average order value. That's huge. That's insane. And so what you can do is you can make 100 accounts and run a ton of volume through these accounts. And so your next step should be to go ahead and create 100 accounts or buy 100 accounts. Just make sure they're email and phone verified. If you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter, and then just send hundreds of cold DMs every single day. So what you actually want to do after you select the number of messages that you send, we typically start off our campaigns at 3 to 6 per hour and then start bumping that all the way up to 16 per hour to send 384, because that is plus follow-ups, etc., to always be below 500 messages. You won't have to actually worry about that limit because Drippy will automatically stop campaigns before you're anywhere close to that. Once you select the number of messages, you want to hit show advanced settings, and here there's a couple things you want to keep in mind. We always skip previously contacted. Auto like works really well. I would not recommend that on your personal account. If you're running like 100 accounts, I would recommend it, but if you're not, then I would just keep it off. Do not contact list, super key. So AI language check, so message only people that speak a specific language. We keep it at English. Activity check, you're only reaching out to people that have been active, and you can move this slider, right? So if you want people that are super active, you can do 3 days or 1 day. Auto follow, auto retweet, prevent cross account duplicates. So if you're running 100 different campaigns, you don't want to be hitting the same people with the same message or like a slightly different message from like 15 accounts. So just keep this off, and then that overlap will not happen. And then AI location check. So if your ICP, they're solely in like the US, Canada, UK, you can actually select those countries. You can actually exclude some countries as well. And then you can select between include unknown. So if the AI can't tell where they're at, do you want it to include or exclude? So you can select that. And then once you're done with that, then you can start the automation. Then you're going to have to redo this with 100 other accounts. So if you want to check out Drippy to send thousands of cold DMs every single day and book hundreds of meetings per month just through Twitter, then just click the link below to check it out. We're also giving away 1,000 free leads in your ICP. Plus, you can send 250 messages completely for free. So just click the link below and then you'll get access to all that. Common misconception is that you need a big following or that you need an actual brand on Twitter to start getting clients. This is simply not true. What I just showed you, our accounts had like 200 followers each, and I actually have another video. So you can click somewhere on the screen to go watch that video going over how you don't really need a big brand to get these types of results. And all right, that's pretty much it. Appreciate you guys, and we will speak soon. See you in the next one. Peace.